exhausting, but exhilarating as the Phillies win it 7-6 in 10 innings. Well, it was a come-from-behind win, Ben Davis. Yes, their greatest come-from-behind win of this season. Son of a gun, indeed. We've got all the highlights. We've got all the analysis. We'll go down to Florida and check in with Ruben Amaro Jr., hear from Rob Thompson and all the principals in a 10-inning, 7-6 Phillies win. They're now 22-15. That's a .594 win percentage. That's 96 wins in 162. Your impressions of this come-from-behind win when they were trailing, and it looked bad for a long time, Benny.
It looked highly improbable. You and I did the seventh inning hit, and they had 2 hits at the time. They had 2, and dead in the water is an understatement of the year. This was a team that they hit the big 3-run homer, did the Rays later on in that ball game. I think it was the 7th inning. Phils come back and get 3 in the 8th, and then tie it up and then go on in extra innings and win it. It's just a great team win. They all rallied around each other. Some very, very good fundamental baseball. And how about this one? 11 for 27 in the 3-game series, runners in scoring possession. That's a .407 average. 11 for 27. That is outstanding. I applaud that effort.
But also, we always say players make plays or they don't, and tonight the Phillies players did. You had Bryson Stott. You had Brandon Marsh. Brandon Marsh is now 5 for 11 since coming off the IL. So you can talk about a 150-something batting average on the season for Brandon Marsh, but he has been clutch since his return. Stott with the home run to pull him to within 1. Rojas with the bunt. They did so many different things. The bullpen, who has been much maligned, certainly Romano did a nice job. Alvarado did a nice job. Strom did a nice job. Pick them, Ben. What do you think?
They did a great job. And then don't forget about the little things like out of that bonus run there in the 10th inning. In field end, what does Trey Turner do? He shortens up, just hits a 27 hopper up the middle for a single. They needed that extra run, obviously, because the Rays go back and get one in the bottom of the 10th. They were close to tying it back up, but that added that insurance run. They did all the small things tonight to make things work.
You don't need a home run every time.
No, you don't.
I'll take one once in a while to pull them within 1.
I like the one Stott hit, though.
The one Stott hit was pretty sweet. Let's go down south to Tampa Bay, Florida. Check in with Ruben Amaro Jr. for the crossover presented by Chapman Auto Stores. Ruben, I don't know what you were thinking after the first couple of innings and the Phillies were trailing and then the lead extended for Tampa Bay, but they dug in and it was a gritty win tonight for the Phils. They sweep a series for just, the third time since closing out the first 2 games of a series and getting the final one to put the final nail in there.
Yeah, Michael, I think this is sort of the personality of this ball club. They've been very gritty for the last 2 or 3 years. They have the bounce back ability of a lot of teams. You almost never see this kind of grit, and that's exactly what I saw today. I mean, they were sort of dead in the water. I mean, Luzardo kept him in the game. Wasn't as sharp as he typically is, but he did do a good job of keeping him in the game, a 1-run game. They had not gotten base hit or very many base runners for about 5 or 6 innings, and then they turned it on in the 8th and 9th and did what they needed to do to get back in this thing. It's a great effort. The home runs, the small ball, the big ball, the ability for those guys to for some of the guys coming out of the pen to shut some things down when they had to. They did a little bending, but they did not break, and just a great team win and a great team sweep, because everybody contributed to this one.
Rube, just take the first run, for example, that the Phillies scored in that first inning. You get a leadoff double by Stott. You get a sack. You get a fly ball to center field by Turner and a sack fly by Harper. Boom, it's 1-0. We'd like to see a little bit more of this, but this is why they've been winning ball games recently, correct?
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, these guys have they've played just a good brand of baseball. It's something that they had not been doing a lot of in the early part of the season. But in this stretch, when they're playing their best baseball, these are the things that they can do. They have the ability to drive the ball out of the ballpark and to get extra base hits, and they've been doing that at a much higher rate lately. But they've also created runs as well. I absolutely love the bunt by Stott to move the runner from second to third to get that extra run. And you called it, Ben, just some contact. Hit a little bleeder up the middle and pick up an RBI. Anytime you can make contact and not strike out, they struck out very little during the course of this 3-game series. I think they maybe struck out maybe 5 or 6 times today, maybe 5 times yesterday. Just a really nice job by these guys of putting the ball in play and making things happen.
All right, Rube, I have to ask you, I got to be devil's advocate. I love Rob Thompson to death. I absolutely love pretty much everything the guy does. His unwillingness to use high-leverage bullpen pieces in one-run ball games when the Phillies are losing, do you see any reason for it, in your opinion?
Yeah, I was a little surprised by the one choice of leaving Tanner Banks in against Yandy Diaz in that situation. I thought that he might go to Romano at that time. And, you know, when you have a one-run game like that with the way this team can be explosive, a little surprised that they didn't go to the more high-leverage guys. But Tanner Banks had been throwing the ball well. I was just surprised that during the course of that inning that he didn't bring in somebody else. Whether it was Kerkering, I don't know if he was down today or not, or perhaps Romano at that time against Diaz in particular. But, hey, they pulled it off. They figured out how to win, and that's a good thing.
Oh, but I'm looking at the rest of the bullpen here, Rube, and Romano, pretty darn good. Alvarado, pretty darn good. And certainly Strahm, maybe they're starting to come around a little bit. Certainly Alvarado and Strahm have been okay. Romano has had his moments, but his fourth straight scoreless outing tonight for Jordan Romano.
Yeah, I think they're getting better. There's no question about it, and they need them to be better. I mean, they're sort of at the bottom of the rankings as far as ERA and WHIP and allowing runs to score, but they have improved, and I think that they've sort of organized it a little bit better. And you never know what's going to happen with Taijuan Walker. He may slide into a more prominent role back there as well. But they need to continue to be consistent, and hopefully they can do that. It's much better than it was in the beginning of the season, and lo and behold, I mean, Alvarado's done a heck of a job bouncing back from last year and becoming the pitcher he is this year.
Lastly,
huge for them.
Jesus Luzardo, 5 1/3, 6 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 105 pitches. Just did not seem to be the guy we have seen, even though, you know, you give up 2 runs. He's got almost a quality start. You give up 2 runs in 5 1/3. You're saying not bad. But what did you think of his performance?
I thought it was a gutsy performance because he didn't have the sharpness as far as his command is concerned. Had some misfires with his slider and with his fastball, and he was not quite as pinpoint controlled as he's been over the majority of the season so far. But he's allowed to have, a clunker, and yet he kept him in the game. I say clunker, but the man kept them in the game. I mean, they only scored 2 runs off the guy, and they gave him an opportunity to stay in the game.
2 and 4 now in sweep opportunities, and they had struggled at that. Certainly the 2 prior series, they got the first 2 wins, failed to get the third, and that's why I thought that had they lost tonight, it would have felt like they lost 5 straight. I mean, they were there on the doorstep, and now it feels like they've won 5. Oh, wait, have they won 5 straight? No, but I'll tell you what, they're 9-2 in their last 11, right? Pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that was one of the things that Rob Thompson actually addressed with the team before this series, that if they get a chance to sweep somebody, let's step on their neck. Let's finish it off. Let's get that third win. And it didn't look like they were going to get it done here today, but they came, barreling back late. Like I said, this is a very gritty team. No give up to this team, and that Bryson Stott, boy, he's been swinging the bat well and got him right back in this thing.
Oh yeah, beautiful job by Bryson Stott tonight. All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow, but from your old stomping grounds in Cleveland before they play the Guardians.
Back to Cleveland.
Yes, can't wait.
Right.
All right, my friend.
It used to be the Indians.
Yeah, used to be the Indians. Now they're the Guardians of the Galaxy. Until the Phillies come crashing through. All right, my friend. We'll check you tomorrow. Ruben Amaro Jr. in the booth down in Tampa Bay. 7-6, the Phillies win it. It was exciting, and that's baseball. You can have a game that's maybe a little on the low energy side, and then it revs up in the middle to late innings, and the Phillies win. In the late innings, it was great.
I know it's very cliche to say, but the game of baseball really is a box of chocolates. I mean, that lineup was about as dormant as you could imagine for the first 7 innings. And then they come out in 8, 9, and 10 and just go out there and put up 7 runs like that. And they did it in such a manner that it's just good winning baseball. That's really all I can say about it. It's good winning baseball. And they did all the intangibles out there and got the job done and get out of there with a sweep. Nicely done.
I'm sure Rob Thompson is immensely excited.
He's probably
I don't think he's
to the moon and back.
Here we go. Here's Rob Thompson post-game on this win.
was a crazy game, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it was. But I love the fight in the club, you know. Finally, we've had, I think, 4 series where we've won the first 2 games in the series and didn't finish it off. Finally got to finish it off today, so, you know, really good stuff.
And for Marsh to be able to come through in that spot, I mean, obviously it's good to win a game, but for a guy like that to be instrumental in it.
Yeah, he swung the bat great today. He got a couple of hits, hit the ball hard 3 times, I believe, twice. Hit in that line drive. We're just trying to stay out of the double play, and just happened to hit it right at the shortstop. But yeah, he looks good.
Has he looked good since he's? I mean, I think he's got 4 or 5 hits since he came back. Does he look different to you in any way?
Well, you know, you see the double to left center. You see the line drive to the shortstop. So he's staying on the ball and he's not smothering stuff to the pull side. So if he continues to do that, I mean, that's what he needs to do.
And that's kind of what he was doing earlier, right? I think I remember you saying he was just pulling everything, trying to pull everything.
Yeah, you get your timing off, or you hit balls hard, like Bohm. You hit balls hard to the opposite field. You're doing the right thing, and then you're like, geez, I'm not getting hits. I better change something. So he just needs to stay where he's at.
Seemed like Rosario was battling a little bit.
Yeah, especially like the first 3 innings, they put a lot of pitches on him. I thought he settled in a little bit more in the 4th. I thought the slider got better as the game went on. His command got better as the game went on. He's a battler, though. You know, he just kept grinding on him, and you know, he did a nice job overall.
The Turner almost home run that was reviewed, is that a crew chief review? Okay.
Yeah, might as well review it at that point in the game.
And they were just wondering if it might have gone over and bounced back over, or what was the?
Yeah, so we're just wondering. We didn't even look at the. I mean, I challenged it before we even looked at it because it's a crew chief, so you might as well use it. That's a boundary call, boundary replay. So we thought, but then as we were looking at the replay, we thought maybe it hit a chair behind him and kicked back over, but it didn't.
What was the mood in the dugout like after Stott hit that one in the 8th?
Yeah, to the energy level went. You know, and the crowd here was, I mean, Philadelphia, and that just erupted. Everything, the energy level went through the roof.
Schwarber starts the 9th with the leadoff single to right. It keeps the on-base streak alive. Good time for that, I guess, right?
It's huge, yeah.
Yeah, and then Rojas pinch runs. Can you talk about the base running play there, just going from first to third on that Aaron Pickoff throw?
Yeah, it's huge. You know, we green lighted him. Fairbanks doesn't pick a whole lot, so we got a break there, and just, you know, his speed just took over at that point.
Were you surprised he threw over there? Because I think it was like usually he's a third baseman, right? So did that surprise you he was throwing over there at all, or no?
Well, he doesn't pick a lot.
Okay.
So yeah, but it's a good move, but he doesn't use it much.
Strom hasn't been quite as smooth lately, but just to be able to close out a back and forth game like this, I mean, just how important was that in the end?
Huge. And the second run, always when you're the visiting team, and to get the second run in extra innings is just a big deal. It really is.